In-feed video ads are one of the most powerful new ad types available with YouTube ads, and in my opinion, one of the most underutilized and underrated ad types out there. Now, Google recently just released this new ad type, and most people seem to think it's just discovery ads with a new name, but trust me, it goes a little bit beyond that. So in this video, I'll be covering exactly what this new ad type is and how they slightly differ than discovery ads. I'll show you exactly how to set them up, and then most importantly, tell you why you need to start advertising with these new campaigns right away. With that, let's jump into the video. In-feed ads are static ads that show up in three key distinct places. The first being search. So when you go inside of YouTube and you search for a video and a bunch of results populate, usually at the top of that list is a sponsored ad. And that is what the first type of in-feed ad is. And this is what's traditionally also known as a discovery ad. The second place where you would see these in-feed ads is on the home page. Usually it's the first thumbnail that is suggested as an ad. And then the next place where you see in-feed ads is on your watch next feed. This is when you are watching a video and you get a bunch of suggested videos on your right-hand side, on the right-hand column, and you will have some of these video placements pop up as a ad. So what makes in-feed ads different than discovery ads? Well, when discovery ads first rolled out, they were just simply search ads. And then slowly they started adding those homepage placements. And then most recently they added the watch next. The big difference is the limitation in placements. We only saw the discovery ads as either the top search result, the top homepage result, or the top watch next results. And what we're already starting to see with these in-feed ads as opposed to discovery ads is that these placements are popping up not just on the first search result placements. Sometimes you can get them as your fifth or sixth placement, and this is especially the case on your watch next recommendations. You see these ads littered throughout the entire list, not just the top result. Now, a key thing to note is that all of these placements do appear on mobile and desktop, so you do have a lot of freedom and flexibility when it comes to these type of ads. Now, with that said, let's talk about what these ads actually look like. So I quickly mentioned that they're static ads. That means there's no video. These ads are made up of three components, which are the thumbnail, the headline, and then the description text. So pretty simple and pretty in line with what discovery ads used to be. Now, in order to discuss the importance of these ads, I like to break them up into two categories. The first being search, which is the search placement, and then the second being the suggested placement. This would be the homepage and then watch next. And I like to break it up into these two sections because I think the strategy behind them is slightly different and you should treat them as two different ad types. So the big reason why the suggested style of in-feed ads are so great is because they're suggested. It's in the name. So instead of being forced to watch an ad like you are with in-stream ads, with suggested ads, you only get people that are interested in your offer. And I think you're able to generate a lot more interest with these type of ads as opposed to some of the other ad types. Let's take an example. Let's say you are running two identical videos in order to convert your customers. One of those videos you are running as a in-stream ad where you are interrupting somebody watching another video, and the other you're running as a in-feed ad. Now, if it's the exact same ad, the exact same video, and it converts at the exact same percentage, however, the in-feed ad has a great thumbnail and great headline and is able to get more people to click through, then 9 out of 10 times, you will actually end up converting a lot more people with that in-feed ad at a much cheaper price, which is pretty insane. So if you are somebody that is great with coming up with thumbnails and titles and headlines, well then the in-feed type of ads are going to be a lot more of a powerful tool for you in your arsenal. And with that, I do want to touch on the search aspect side of these in-feed ads as well, because we all know this, YouTube is the second biggest search engine out there, right behind Google itself. So instead of fighting in a sea of competition competition with Google PPC ads, you can actually utilize this second biggest search engine and actually get more real estate than, say, Google PPC ads in order to convert more customers. So unlike PPC ads where you're just given a headline, with these in-feed ads, you can also leverage thumbnail design and image design in order to convince more customers. Unlike PPC ads where you have limited real estate with headlines and descriptions, with these in-feed ads, you also get to use a thumbnail, which is fantastic if you are somebody that's great at image design and is able to convert more people using a bigger chunk of real estate with images. And if you are able to do this effectively, well, then you can basically dominate any single search term and show up in front of your competition at a fraction of the cost when compared to, say, Google PPC. And with that, let's actually jump into my computer so I can show you how to set up these type of ads. All right, so here we are inside the YouTube ads dashboard, and for the most part, setting up these campaigns is going to look like setting up any other campaign. However, there are a couple subtle differences that I will talk to you guys through. Now, when it comes to choosing a campaign objective, you can actually choose several of these which allow for in-feed ads. However, with our experience, we found that these type of ads work with the product and brand consideration campaign objective the best. So we'll select that, and by default you will have video selected, and now you will go down and select the influence consideration one, as it's the only one that allows in-feed video ads. Now the same rules apply to setting up this campaign as they do to any campaign, so you're going to want to follow proper nomenclature rules. Now once you have the campaign named, you can work through some of the other selection options. Now with these type of ads, you are only limited to the CPV bidding. Don't worry, I'll tell you guys how to set this up and what sort of bids you need to do to make this stuff work. Now, when it comes to budget, these type of campaigns don't really require a large budget to get going. I recommend even starting with something as small as $20 a day and start seeing some of the results. Now, next up is networks. Obviously, we want to stay away from video partners on the display network. From our experience, these type of ads never work with the display network partners. And with that, everything else is pretty much the same when it comes to demographic targeting. So you're gonna set up the exact same way how you set up any other campaigns. If you're advertising in, let's say, the United States, so keep that option there. Your languages, if you're doing English, Spanish, again, very, very similar to any other campaign type, including inventory. You can go for expanded inventory. I kind of recommend this just because your ad will be shown to a lot more people. However, if you do have a brand, a product or service that is a little bit sensitive to expanded inventory, obviously use your best judgment. Again, we do want to be limiting both embed videos and streaming videos. I've mentioned this in multiple videos on this channel. They don't seem to convert that well. Now, this related videos option is something that's unique to in-feed ad types, where it allows you to get your ad recommended in front of other related videos. And this kind of shows you exactly what your ad would look like. So let's quickly take a video, put it in. So your video would show up like here, and you can go up to 5 videos and get your video recommended as opposed to some of the other videos that you put in here. So a very cool placement option, but for now we're actually going to leave this alone and move into some of the additional settings. Now, one thing that we've noticed is that these type of ads do terribly on TV screens and sometimes even tablets. Tablets is something that you are going to want to split test yourself, but I highly recommend deselecting TV screens, just because when people are watching, say, YouTube videos on TV screens, they're not going to use their remote control to try and like click on other things. It usually doesn't convert that well. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is frequency capping, and this is pretty important when it comes to in-feed ads in particular. Because it's static image ads, they are going to be seen a lot more. They do take up real estate during the entire page load, whereas like in-stream ads, they come and go, right? They come for like, let's say 5 seconds to 30 seconds, whereas these in-feed ads, they stay on somebody's feed. So you are going to have to be very careful with how high you keep your frequency cappings and impression cappings. What I suggest is that you do a per week impression cap of 4 and then a view impression cap of 2 per week. And the ad schedule could be all days, and we don't want any third-party measurement. Moving on from demographics, let's quickly talk about the 3 audience types that I think work really well with in-feed ads. First being keywords. Now, this is going to be very similar to PPC ads. Again, if you want to show up in front of certain keywords, you will be using this placement type. Now, the second audience type that works really well with these type of campaigns are going to be your remarketing audiences. And that's because this is a different ad placement for your existing audience so that they can see your offer, your advertisement in a new different placement, keeps the eye fresh, brings in those multiple touch points in a very unique and different way. And then finally, the third type of audience that I think works really well with this campaign type is in-market audiences. So for our example, we'll go in, we'll select something like, say, activewear for our audience selection. Now let's talk about actually coming up with the ad. So I'll go ahead and pick a video, and a quick plug here. If you haven't watched this video on our channel recently, go ahead and do that after this video. It's a really good one. And then once we have our video selected, we're just gonna click in-feed video ad, and we get these following options. Now, I'm assuming that you're coming up with these videos and uploading them to your channel as organic videos. And when you do that, you are given the option to upload a custom thumbnail. I highly recommend that you go with that route and don't select any of the YouTube generated thumbnails. And then once you have the thumbnail, you can go ahead and fill in the headline and description. And it's as simple as that. Now you can go in and upload multiple different in-feed video ads within this dashboard. However, what I recommend is if you are split testing, let's say thumbnails, and you should always be split testing thumbnails, is to create a separate campaign, upload another YouTube video with a different custom thumbnails. That's the only way you're actually going to be able to do real thumbnail A/B testing. Next, let's move on to the bidding. And this is where a lot of you are going to get tripped up. It's because you are going to have to select a manual bid when it comes to these ads being served. Now, Google will help you out a little bit, and they will give you a suggested bid type. I do recommend following this because Google will take into account your location, your offer, whatever audiences that you are advertising to, and give you a good number. What I recommend though is going a little bit above whatever Google recommends, just to ensure that your ads will actually spend, that your campaign budget will be used. Now, if you are noticing that your daily spend is not the same as what you set out for the budget, what you can do is go back into this campaign and then increase the CPV bid by 5 to 10 cents. So for our example here, it actually recommends 11 cents based on the audience and impression size that we did. So a safe bet for me would be something like 20 cents. And with this, I'll be expected to spend 100% of my budget, and I should see conversions coming in. And that is essentially it. That is how you create a in-feed ad. Now, let's quickly talk about some of the best practices that will ensure that you get the best results with this ad type. The first tip that I can give you guys, and I quickly touched on this, is to split test your thumbnails. Because this ad type is so dominated with the image, you definitely want to be split testing thumbnails, and you want to do that in separate campaigns, all in the same audience. So make sure all of your variables are the exact same. The only thing that changes is the thumbnails, so you can compare which one gets a better click-through rate. And when it comes to making thumbnails that actually generate a great click-through rate, what I recommend is following the best practices of organic YouTube videos. So there's tons of channels on YouTube that go over what makes a great thumbnail and how to come up with enticing thumbnails that people want to click. And what I suggest is that you follow their formulas. What works for YouTube organic videos is also what works for these ads. Clickbaitiness is the name of the game here. But what I will say is a little bit different than, say, YouTube organic videos, is that your thumbnails need to have a lot more graphics and sometimes even text in order to convert. Now, what I do suggest is that you split test this, because every single offer, every single business is unique, and some of the things that may work for one may not work for the other. However, if you don't want to do any of this split testing and you want just somebody to do this all for you, well then I suggest checking out the top link in the description, where we cover our done for you YouTube ads management service. This is where we take care of all of your YouTube ads for you. You can sit back, relax, and just watch the results come in. If you are interested in that, again, the top link in the description. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.